Hi, welcome back and welcome if you're new. So today, continuing on with my Stationery Collection series, which I'll link below if you haven't seen what we've done so far. Today we are doing pens and markers. So I'm going to be setting up 2 swatch books, and while I do that I will be swatching every pen and marker that I own, so you'll see them all. Both these books are mini journals from Hubman and Chubgirl. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set them up and then I'm going to do a flip through after, and when I do the flip through of them I'll let you know where I got certain things from if you're interested. And then finally I'm going to show you how I store my pens and markers, which I have just recently upgraded and I'm really happy with, especially what I found for storing my Tombow markers. It just makes me so happy every time I see it. So without further ado, let's get started. And I'm going to start with my collectibles book first, and there's chapters in the video if you want to skip about. So let's get this set up.
I saw the ending before the movie was done. I got thick skin because I've been burned before. I got baggage that you don't know of. Learn the hard way not to trust anyone. I'm not letting anyone get too close. I'm a wild one, I'm alright, love on my own. You probably think I'm hurting, but darling, I'll be fine. It's just a little heartbreak, and heartbreak fades with time. You probably think I'm broken, I swear that I'm alright. It's just a little heartbreak, and heartbreak fades with time. You probably think I'm hurting, right? But cowgirls don't cry.
First of all, we have fluorescent. So we've got pink, orange, yellow, blue, and blue-green. And then we have cool and refined. So that is green, dark blue, grey, violet, and red. Then we have warm, this one here. So that's smoke blue, vermilion, gold, magenta, and brown. Then we have bright. It can also be known as refresh, this one here, fuchsia, marigold, citrus green, summer green, and lavender. And then we have Friendly, which is lemon yellow. Apricot. Coral pink. Cyan. And dark grey. Then we have Gentle, Honey Orange, Sherbet Yellow, Soda Blue, and Lilac, and Baby Pink. And then finally we have Neutral, so that's Copper, Beige, Green, Cool Grey, and Olive. And then also in the neutrals there is Dusky Pink, and that is all the white liners. So we're starting with 020, which is Peach, .025 Light Orange, .026 Yellow Gold, .027 is Dark Ochre, .055 is Processed Yellow, .062 is Pale Yellow, .076 is Green Ochre, .090 is Lemon Cream, .126 is Light Olive, .131 is Lemon Lime, .177 is Dark Jade, 192 is Asparagus, and then one of my very favourites is 228, which is Grey Green. As you can see, this range of numbers, I don't have very many, but I'll keep collecting. So I have 243, which is Mint, 312, which is Holly Green, another of my favourites, and 491 down here, which is Glacier Blue. And then out of the ones from this range, I have 515 Light Blue, 528 Navy Blue, 553 Mist Purple, 565 Deep Blue, 603 Periwinkle, 620 Lilac, 623 Purple Sage, one of my favourites, 636 Imperial Purple, 665 Purple, and another favourite, 679 Dark Plum. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so we have 879 Brown, 933 Orange, 942 Cappuccino, 946 Gold Ochre, 947 Burnt Sienna, 969 Chocolate, 977 Saddle Brown, 985 Chrome Yellow, and 992 Sand. N15 is black, N25 is lamp black, N35 is cool grey 12, N45 is cool grey 10, N55 is cool grey 7. This is one of my favourites. So is N60 cool grey 6. N65 is cool grey 5. N75, another favourite, cool grey 3. N79 is warm grey 2. N89 is warm grey 1. And N95 is cool grey 1. Right, now Zebra ClickArts. These pens come in different packs. You know, there's one that's like called Ocean, so it's not just these 3 packs that you can get, but you can also get a pack of 36, which gives you every colour, because that's how many colours they have. But this is the colour flow chart that you get on their site, so that's what I went with, and it contains all the colours. And you can tell their colour by their number on the packaging, see? And I love the fact that these click on and off. You don't have to have a lid with you, so it's good for on the go, so you're not losing the lid. And they're made so they don't dry out, even though they're markers that are technically exposed to air. And I love how they write, they're really smooth. So this is our standard set, and number 1 is black. Number 2 is blue. Number 3 is red. Number 4 is green. Number 5 is yellow. Number 6 is brown. Number 7 is pink. Eight is purple. I love the colour purple. Gorgeous. 9 is orange. 10 is grey. 11 is light blue. And 12 is light green. Then we have the dark, so 13 is light brown. 16 is dark brown. 19 is blue black. 20 is blue green. 21 is smoky blue. 23 is red black. 24 is Viridian. 25 is magenta. 28 is green black. 29 is red orange. 31 is blue grey. And 39 is turquoise blue. And now the lights. So 15 is pale cherry. 17 is peach pink. 22 is pale blue. 26 is pale orange. 27 is salmon pink. 32 is aqua blue. 33 is Baby Red. 34 is Leaf Green. 35 is Marigold. 36 is Cocoa Brown. 37 is Lavender. And 38 is Mint Green. Dear knows why they went with those choice of numbers when there's 36 of them and they go up to 38. But there you go. So we have clean colour singles. I love these. If you follow my channel, you know I use one a week at least. And we're going to start with the mild ones. So we have 026 Baby Pink, 071 Peach Bliss, 502 Butter, 403 Pale Mint, 302 Powder Blue, and 803 English Lavender. Then we have the mild smokies, so that's 201 Pale Rose, 602 Oatmeal, 805 Wisteria, 407 Pale Turquoise, 408 Pale Moss, and my favourite 409 Greyish Green. In the highlight range is 110 Fluorescent Yellow, 111 Fluorescent Orange, 112 Fluorescent Pink, 113 Fluorescent Green, 131 is Light Blue, and 902 is Light Platinum. So now I'm going to set this one aside for a second. We'll flip through it later, and I'm going to set up this one.
I did a lot of bad things, and never did I give in. Just 'cause the thought of being vulnerable made me feel less than I am. I have never felt home till you entered my door.
So starting with the pens I write with day in, day out, and each one I use when a different notion takes me or for a different purpose. So the first one, and I love these, is a Signo Gel Pen in 0.5. Love how dark the ink is and how smooth it writes. Because my writing is so big, it's quite fine, even for 0.5 in my opinion, and it's good for when I want to write more with less space. And then I have some Sharpie S gels, they're 0.7. So the opposite basically, whenever I want to take up more space or I'm not worried about taking up space essentially, I use these, and I love how they write so smoothly, how black they are, how good they are on writing over stickers and stuff. They don't like scratch on them or anything like that. And I have a white barrel, a frost blue barrel, a black barrel, a bronze barrel, and a grey steel, I think it's called, barrel. They do sell them in like an olive, and I think it's called frost purple, which I totally want, but they're the colours that I have. But it's all the same ink. And then another pen that I love is a Pentel Energel Clena. These are both 0.5 inks. If I'm choosing between my 0.5s, I would lean towards the Signo Gel Pen, but I love these too, and you'll see there is a slight difference in it, so it just depends what mood I'm in, to be honest, whether I write with these or not. This is a black barrel, and this is a silver barrel. I don't know, maybe you can't tell a difference in those two, but I can. But I love them both. And then finally, in terms of writing pens that I love, I also have this Zebra Sarasa Dry, and this is a newer one to me. This is it in a 0.7 in a different type of barrel that I originally got it in. And then this is a newer barrel that I saw, the clip, it's a drift grip, and I'm gonna use this for journaling. What's good about it is quick dry, as the Zebra Sarasa Dry name suggests. So it's really good for people left-handed, or if you're writing on smoother paper and you don't want your writing to smudge. But I love the barrel of this, and I like the idea of, because of how often I'm going to be writing next year, I'm going to write throughout the day in my journal, it'll just be better on your hand. And I like the idea of writing in the same pen throughout the journal. Whether that sticks, I don't know, I'll see, but love this pen too. And of course you can get all these pens in different sizes. These are just my preference. And I'm gonna leave the rest of this blank in case I find any more awesome pens in the future and flip the page. So these next ones I'm obsessed with. Now, I have been collecting Zebra Sarasa vintage in the grand barrel, but I don't intend to buy the whole lot. However, I do technically own the whole lot in the ordinary barrel, but it's the same ink. The difference is this is just the Zebra Sarasa vintage clip, and this is the grand barrel. But I had originally bought them in 2 packs of 5, so I have them all. So let me show you the full swatch if you want to see them all. So there's mustard yellow, sepia black, dark grey, Bordeaux purple, cassis black, dark blue, blue grey, green black, brown grey, and red black. And they come in vintage and dark vintage 2 packs. So I'm going to swatch here in this little book the ones that I intend to keep buying more inks for. So this is the dark blue, and it's like a bluey black navy. And then I have the Bordeaux purple, which is like a smoky purple. And then I have the dark grey. And then I have the sepia black. There, and that's my Zebra Sarasa Grand collection. Now I do have some other Zig Clean colour dots. I didn't add them as collectibles because if they ever release these in singles, I will buy the single because I'm not a fan of the other side. I don't mind so much in the metallics, if I'm honest, but in the normal ones, I don't use, this is the only one I still have. I gave away all my other ones because I don't like this side of it. and the singles don't come in a black, but all the other colours is everything I need really. So I just decided to go ahead and keep the singles rather than keeping ones I don't use. However, I love these metallic ones and they don't come in single. So I'm going to swatch these anyway. So we have 010, which is black. And then we have 125, which is blue. These are gorgeous. 124, which is violet. 121, which is green. 102, which is silver. And 101, which is gold. There is actually 126 red in the metallics if you buy them in a packet, but I gave that one away. Next up are my STA metallic colour pens. These are by far my favourite metallic markers. They're just so juicy, they're opaque, they cover most things. You can even write on rocks with them, according to Amazon where they're advertised. Not that I've ever done that or tried, but they're just very, very opaque. And I love all the different colours that come in the range. They have a bronze, which is my favourite, and the dark grey. And they're also a fantastic price for the quality. Now there was a white in this set, but I didn't keep it. I was really happy with all these, but the white wasn't really for me. I prefer the white in my metallic pen and in my Posca paint pens that I'll show you in a second. But we're going to do the metallic pens now. And these are my uni-Ball Signo pens. They are brilliant metallic pens. They're my favourite out of all the ones I have tried. So this is the gold. And just look how juicy they write. They are unbeatable in my opinion when it comes to a metallic pen. And then silver. And bronze. And then the white, and if I write directly on this, you'll not see it. I wouldn't use it directly on a white, I would write over something that's darker. Let's use an N25 Tombow. And then sticking with uni, these are Uni Pin Fine Liners. I have a black set and a dark grey set. I used to use these all the time whenever I tried out bullet journaling. They're great for like drawing out the lines, like drawing out your spread, but they're also great for outlining sketches, and then you can rub out the pencil and colour them in with Tombows, but because they are water and fade proof pigment ink, they're really great for that. So anyway, let's swatch these. So the blacks, we have 0.05. 0.1, 0.3, 0.5, and 0.8. And then my dark greys came in a set of 3, so they are 0.1, 0.5, and a brush pen. And then these, I don't keep things that I never use, as I'm sure you've noticed by mentioning, even in this video, me mentioned like I got rid of like the white STA marker. But anyway, because I would rather it went to someone who's going to use it. But for some reason, even though I never use these, they're Tombow Fudenosuke, I have a weird sentimental attachment to them and I can't get rid of them. Maybe it's because I bought them way back when I started my channel, I don't know. But anyway, they come in a set of 2 and they're black. You get one in a navy barrel and one in a black barrel. And the one in the black barrel is the soft tip. And then the one in the navy is the hard tip. And they both still work even though I never use them, so they are good quality, definitely. Last but not least, the Posca paint pens. They're also by Uni. These are my favourite paint markers. I find that they have very little to no maintenance. As long as you would both shake it before you use it and maybe dab it off on a bit of spare paper before you use it, then it's not going to leak out everywhere. But you don't have to like wipe it before you put the pen lid back on. You don't have to shake and shake for ages and press down really hard to get the paint to come out. So they're just really easy to use. And if you look at the side, it gives you a code. PC3M is the fine, and then it says what shape the nib is. This one's bullet shaped, and how big that nib is. That one's 0.9 to 1.3 millimeters, and it says that for them all, as well as letting you know what the color is on the side.
Give me a reason to get out of bed. I need a minute to think, or maybe 2. 'Cause yesterday I lost control and said some things I felt that you should know. I need a day to clear my mind and leave it all behind. It's gonna be okay, no matter come what may. I'm gonna set things straight tomorrow. I let my worries fade, let them sweep away. There'll be another day tomorrow. I keep repeating the same mistakes. I did them all before, in every shape. There's a million ways to mess things.
Brilliant, so that's these ready to go. I'll be able to just keep using them as a reference and to continue collecting my Tombows. So let's do a quick flip through of them. So like I said, this is a mini journal from Hubman and Chubgirl. This one has all the pens. It's like a soft faux leather outside, and then inside's a dot grid. This I Love Pens vinyl is from Coffee Monsterz Co. And then these are actually from a digital set that I purchased from Coffee Monsterz Co. You can get it where it's plain and it doesn't say swatches, and then where it does say swatches. So I printed the 2 colours in the Tombows and the 2 colours in the Fineliner, which is perfect for this book. And then this journal card is from Coffee Monsterz Co. And it has all the colourways of the available Mileliners. And I used all the little Mileliner stickers from Coffee Monsterz Co. that come in the monthlies. I've been collecting them to do this. And then this seal is also Coffee Monsterz Co. And that's those, same thing. And then I left some space in case they release any new ones that I want to collect. And then here, Coffee Monsterz Co. did have a journal card that has all the, like a colour chart for Tombow, but there were ones missing. So I decided to put the digital of her swatches this way here, and then take this colour chart from the Tombow site itself, and that way it has all the colours that are available there. And then this seal is also Coffee Monsterz Co. And then I put a little swatch pens emoji too. And then again, it's an emoji holding Tombows, and that's just the Tombow seal. Looking forward to collecting all them, and then I left space in case there's ever new ones. Then we have Zebra ClickArts, and again I made this using, it was made using their colour chart, but I created my own colour chart in Keynote. So I used their available colour chart and made it my own. I don't know how else to describe that. Just putting a little shape and then changing it to the colour and writing the number underneath it for the standard dark and light, and then that's where I swatched them. And then same with Zig Clean Colour Dot. I wasn't keen on their available colour chart, so I used their colour chart to create this one for the single ones, my smoky and highlight. And then at the very back I have another vinyl, I Love Pens from Coffee Monsterz Co. And this washi that has my liners on it is from Planner Monkey Co. I thought that was really perfect. I actually forgot to say I put some of it there too. Anyway, so that's my little collectibles book. And then this one is my reference book for anything else that I get that I just want to keep. So here, this is another vinyl, same vinyl from Coffee Monsterz Co. And then this time from the digital set, I took the two Uni Gel Pen digital things and printed them on sticker paper and put them there. I had originally, if you notice, put one that went right over here that said swatches, and I didn't like the way it looked, so I actually changed that from when I set it up. I changed it to two smaller ones. Then here are my pens, and as you saw, all the little swatches. And then I don't have anything in the back of this one. That is my little swatches, and I've swatched all my pens, so all that's left to do is show you how I'm storing them. I had initially put all my pens in an Erin Condren holder, and it was like a compartment of 4. And those are the pens that I reached for every day, and they sat at the side of my desk. But I found that I was poking about trying to find pens and look for the one that I needed, and it was just irritating me. I did like having them there just at the side of the desk, but I wanted to be able to access them easier and see them visually. I'm all about visuals. I'm a very visual person and I hate clutter, and for me them all being in that little container was just clutter. Anyway, so I looked about for a solution and I found this on Amazon. Isn't that so much better? Absolutely love it, and it's just so much tidier with the fact that it's black and fits in with my stuff. And let me pull it over here and show you it. So isn't that just so handy? All my ClickArts at the back, I can easily see what colour is where and lift it out so easily and put it back in its place so easily. And then I have my metallic pens, and to be honest, it is very like out of sight, out of mind. Where I used to store these metallics, and we'll talk about that in a second because they were in the same place as my Tombows. But now I can see them, and I've actually used the gold one the other day. So I just love the visual of them all just being there. And then of course all my pens are here, and I just absolutely love them. So I can reach easily for my Signo Gel Pen. I have all my Zebra Sarasas at the front. These ones don't fit the best now, the old barrel, but I intend to replace them, to be honest, with Zebra Sarasa Grands when I eventually collect more. Those are the colours that I want in it, and they fit perfectly. And then I have here Uni Gel Pen, and then I have my Sharpie S gels. So when I'm looking for a particular pen, it takes me like half a second and I've lifted the one I want, and it's just absolutely perfect. And then I used to keep my pens in a drawer, and I had got these trays that were initially meant to be stackable, but I had laid them out in a drawer, and visually I loved it. I loved pulling out the drawer and having a look at all the pens laid out, and it solved the issue of being able to find things, with the exception of the stuff like the metallic markers that were stored in containers like this. So they would all be piled together, like my Zig Clean Colour Dots. They were in the same drawer as the Tombows. And it was bugging me for ages because, one, the ones that were all piled together were clutter. I couldn't find what I was looking for. But the Tombows, even though visually they looked really nice, they were taking up a lot of space. Like they took up so much of that drawer. And I only have so many drawers in this room, and like I said, I keep saying the same thing, I'm not a clutter fan. So the solution for me wasn't to get more drawers, it was to use the storage that I had better. And I have decided that I do want to buy shelves to put above them, and that's where these containers I'm going to show you will eventually go, so they're not sitting on top of the drawers. But they're perfect, so let me show you. These just awesome. So as you can see, I have stacked the pen holders that used to hold my Tombows all on top of each other. And so at the top I have my liners, and then I have my Zig colour dots, and then I have my STA metallic pens. I might move those out and eventually have just the zebra liners there if if their range expands and I collect more. But for now that's perfect, and I love how they look. And then the Tombows, I discovered a new holder. So it came in a box all assembled, and it was actually white. And what you do is you get a set of stickers, well, 2 sets of stickers, because you can use the box for their alcohol markers or for their dual tip markers, which is what I used it for. So you get 2 sets of stickers so that you can number it accordingly. And you just lift it off in a strip and then stick it along the row. And then it has like this little pull thing at the bottom that you pull out, and all the drawers pull out, and then you can push it back in if you want to access them. Although you can access it without pulling them out too. I moved the 992 and the 025 around because they had initially designed it so that you start with the reds, you end with N00, which is their blender, and it has all the blacks and greys. But because I'm such a cool tone neutral person, I just prefer the visual of starting with the blacks and greys at the top and then working my way down. But I'm obsessed with it. It is just so satisfying to have them all in, and I can just find exactly which number of pen I'm looking for, just like that, and see the numbers so clearly. I don't have to like twist it like I was doing before to make sure like N60 is sitting up so I can find it, because it says N60 at the side. But what I did is I actually bought some matte black vinyl and wrapped it around the outside, so the 2 sides and the top, because my room is very neutral colours and dark and moody vibes, and I think for me it just stood out like a sore thumb. But if that doesn't bother you and you had white in your room, you wouldn't have to do that. But I did that just so it would blend in with my room a bit better, and it was easy enough to do, just to stick that over those sides, and I didn't bother putting it at the back or the bottom because you can't see them, and now it just blends in perfectly. So I'm so happy with those 3 storage solutions. I will probably have some in a drawer, like for example, if we've noticed the metallic Zig colours aren't in anything yet because they're so long, they were sticking out way too far in that holder. Because I was going to just put the Zigs and not put the STAs at the bottom there. But I don't care, I don't mind having some of them in the drawer in those wee containers. And I actually intend to take my Distress Oxides out because they're also supposed to be in stackable trays, but I have them lying flat, and I just printed this off the Ranger site. That is their colour labels. I'll link below anything that I can if you're wanting to find it. But until next time, take care, and I'll speak to you really soon. Bye!